the video when everybody speaks, we have to speak a bit loud because
Doesn't
the
come out
recording
there.
was very difficult to understand.
Yeah, I just came little closer. That's why. So you'll take it from there.
I was thinking I'll
Okay.
go get some microphone and put it.
No, I can put that, but I thought we're just in the small room. So let me play
But your audio was really good.
because I speak loudly. What do you think about this video? I know there are various dimensions which are covered, but I'm sure you can add more on that. Did the video make sense? Okay, you want to share your insight? What do you think we are discussing here? Okay, let me pitch in.
Basically, we're not going, we are trying to avoid going to the root cause analysis.
Very nice. Okay.
Why a situation is happening.
Hmm.
Rather, we are trying to band-aid it, ignoring it,
Hmm.
and not putting much thought to it.
Yes, very nice. There is. Hey, can you kids? Can you go out from here, please? Can you go out from here, please? Can you go out?
I will take care.
Ostrich, when it is chased by a lion, what it does, it goes in the hole, put his mouth, thinking that the lion will not see me. The lion is like a death. For that ostrich, same way, every moment we are chasing death. The death is behind us. It's not that it's not there. The only thing which is making a difference is the distance. As we grow, the distance shortens. Distance shortens, and we come to the period or come to the time when the lion caught the ostrich here. So the ostrich, coming back, I'm just adding to your point, which you said, the ostrich thinks that the lion is not going to see me. I'm sorry, sir. You're thinking lion is not seeing you because you put your mouth or you put your face inside the hole thinking that, oh, he doesn't know it. But I'm sorry. Similar way, we try to escape. We have so many problems, whether I am a CIO, whether I am a CEO of a company, whether I am a president of the country. Everyone has their sort of problems. Did I share that story one time? There was a king. Sorry, there was a king. So what would happen is the citizens would bring all sort kind of sort of problems to him, and he was fed up. These guys always bring me problems. Have you seen? If you just handle too many problems, you just become like literally mad. What's going on? I can't handle it. So he asked his minister, "Can you do something about it?" He said, "Yes, let's do one thing. Let's set up an exhibition." Did I share that story? No, right? Let's set up an exhibition. Everyone bring their own problem, nicely decorated in the canvas. So they brought in. Everyone brought, all citizens brought in. They said, now we are setting up a hall, exhibition hall. You put your frames there. Everyone did that. Next day he announced the exhibition is open for everyone to come and see. and the room was houseful. Why? Because always people want to see what is going in others' life. My life is miserable. I can see, I want to see if others are happy. And that is one of the point which is being brought in. Why we go and see movie? Of course, there is an entertainment, but they show a rosy picture about life. And we think, oh, you know what, maybe my life is difficult, but I think it'll get better, because this movie shows me that is how it is going to go.
I think these days there are no rosy movies.
So I good you brought, because now they are thinking, now they understood. They are not. Please stop making us fool. We understand. Thank you for sharing that. So everyone came in. The exhibition hall was full packed because there was free open ticket, or free, what is that, entry ticket. So everyone came in, and they were exiting. King said, "Wait, there is an exit ticket for you." What is that exit ticket? Ah, okay, very good. So I think you got a gist of it. Let me put that into words. So he said, you have to take at least one frame with you. So now they again entered, started from first. Let me see if someone has a lesser problem than mine. What do you think would have happened? So Matari said they exchanged. What do you think would have happened here?
And they thought mine is better. I know what the situation I can solve.
Exactly. Thank you. So what they did at the end, saying that I think my problem is smaller, let me take that. And this is the exact problem which Bhagavad Gita is trying to solve. Everyone is struggling one or the other way, whether we accept or we do not accept. Maybe certain part of our life, or certain day of our life, or certain hours of our life, or certain hours of a day, or certain minutes of a day. Sorry, I'm just getting into detail. May be nice, but we have some struggle one or the other way. And what Bhagavad Gita is trying to teach us, you want to escape, I will give you a path to escape where you do not have to again struggle. And that escape will be eternal, not in a negative way, in a positive way. Why I go for a movie? I need a change. Why do I want to celebrate these festivals like it happens in Detroit? It's a fully packed hall where whatever they do on the street, full. Why? I need a change. I need an escape. I want to go to. Today, tourism is the biggest attraction for everyone. Huge sum of money is spent on tourism. Why? Even if you live in Hawaii, people go from Hawaii to somewhere else. Why? I need an escape. I need to get out from my normal life to something different, which may looks apparently better. And this is what Bhagavad Gita is trying to teach us. By reading this beautiful scripture, you can escape from this world to a place where you will not have a misery. You will not have a difficulty even for a millisecond. And that is the point which I wanted to share based on the question which you brought in. Bhagavad Gita is that window through which you can get out, you can escape from all the difficulties. Even if I am a CIO, even if I am a CEO, can I control the weather? I can't control the weather. I can control the temperature in the room. When I have the best car, say you have a limousine car, you can buy the car, but can you control the street? The traffic on the street is not under my control. I'm going to take the same time whether someone is driving a broken car. It's going to take the same time for him as well as for me. And that is a point which we are trying to bring in. And that is what Bhagavad Gita is trying to give us, that Z dimension. So far in our life, it is only two dimensional, which is X and Y. What is Bhagavad Gita bringing in that Z dimension through which you people understand from the 360-degree view? Because when you see from 360-degree view, you have a different perception of things from that view compared to when you're dealing with these things here. Make sense? Good, you brought that up. Anything else you wanted to add before we start? You're good? Okay, cool. Remind me again, what is the verse we are covering today? Okay, I'm going to bring that here. And I will share this content. Is it there now? Okay, beautiful. Okay, we will start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुकुं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् Wonderful. So we are, I'm going to share screen here, 2.52. This is visible here. Wonderful. And I'm sharing as well today. Wonderful. Yada te moha kalilam buddhirvyati tarishyati tada gantasi nirvedam Shrotavyasya Shrutasya cha. Who can read the translation?
When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard.
Beautiful, Prabhuji. Thank you. Again, this is very beautiful what's connecting to our discussion. How many of us have heard about being mindful? We all heard being mindful. Have you heard that before when we were born or when we were in our young age? Why? This term has been there, no doubt. But there is a big hype now about being mindful versus how it wasn't there before. At least I grew up, I never knew about what is being mindful.
Because we never had a lot of distraction while
Ah,
growing
very
up.
nice.
Now we have so many things that we are not focusing on one thing.
Very nice. I will, maybe I didn't do my homework. If you pull the statistics of today, what is that animal? The animal, I forgot the animal or bird that has the span of focus or concentration of 9 seconds. Can you imagine what would be our span of focus? Any rough guesses?
Probably second.
We'll get there, but it is 8 seconds. You can imagine 8 seconds, which is while I'm talking, I don't even realize even my one word will cross over 8 seconds. That is our focus attention. And this is what Krishna is talking about when our intelligence is passed out of dense forest of delusion. What is dense forest of delusion? We live in the forest of difficulties, forest of so many things to handle, so many aspects. Some are beyond our capacity. I know I'm on online, so I don't want to bring in, but some news came this morning about 100K. Can I control? I can't control. It is beyond my control. Even if I'm at the highest position in the company, if I'm in a certain category of this thing, it's a tension for me. Can I control it? Not. Did I anticipated it? No. But it comes in and I'm part of that formula. The problem applies when I'm part of that formula. And everyone's problems are designed in that way. Not everyone has to be part of that formula. For an example, we had COVID. A person who got the COVID, he is under a different formula than the person who hasn't got it. And the person on this side cannot understand what the other person is going through. So it's a formula and it is custom designed. In America, if you anything want to find out custom design, it's expensive. You have standard design, anything, window standard size, bathroom standard size, yeah, you can find it. When it becomes custom, it becomes expensive. But here, customization is free of cost. The material nature arranges that customization based on our karma, based on whatever we are going through, based on our set of activities. So when we use our intelligence and pass out through the dense forest of delusion, these distractions which we talk about. And what are these distractions? These distractions are something which does not give us clarity in life. And Krishna is saying, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. One of the very important concepts which Bhagavad Gita talks about is dhira. Dhira is a type of person, not the name of a person, but the qualification of a person who is unaffected by anything. Whatever happens around him or her, it doesn't matter because that person understand this world is designed to be like that. So they already anticipate this is going to happen today or tomorrow. That's a brutal reality of the world. Material world is called as full of dualities. That's the acronym for this material world. There is happiness, there is a distress. There is summer, there is winter. There is happiness, there is a distress. So there is always other sides. Like a coin has two sides, this material world has always two sides. You can never say, I will have only one side. Every person, you pick up any person and identify with them, ask them, do you have ever problem? Do you have a problem? They may say, I don't have a problem. Did you have a problem? Oh yeah, definitely I had a lot of problems. Or in future we have a problem. But what we are talking about, a person called as Dhira, his attention his focus is crystal clear. The expectation is clear. You know what is a distress? What is the definition of distress? You may quote any distress thing. The definition of distress is a distance between the expectation and the result. The farther the distance, the farther person is distressed or stressed out. You agree or you do not agree? If my expectation is clear that when I go to the swimming pool, I'm going to get wet. Logical expectation. Similar way, when you come in the material world, you have your clear expectation that this material world is going to throw the dice in front of me, which I didn't expect. Maybe one time, I saw this, one time we'll talk about it, but briefly want to talk about. Have you seen the movie Jumanji? I'm sure all of us have seen.
Yeah. That's the game that.
Correct, correct. What is that game of Jumanji is, you're living a regular life, Hare Krishna Prabhu. You're living a life and you got a game and you desire to start that game. Now, what is the rule of the game? You have to finish that game. If you don't remember, I'll just narrate and you will be able to connect. If you start the game, you will have to finish it. If you don't finish it, you will have to again restart or you have to continue from that where you left off. If you can connect all the series, there are 1, 2, 3, there is all this thing, right? Try series or even more. If you start, you will have to finish. And when you start, don't expect that you will just run and you will reach to the finish game. You will have the set of problems coming and you will have to pass that exam. When you pass that exam, you get a lifeline which will help you in the next problem statement. And then if you pass, you get another lifeline which will help you for third this thing. And in the whole journey, there are people who have experienced that. They come in as a guide to tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. You am I able to connect the dots here? You're with me so far, right? This is exactly the life is. Birth, we have to death. And from B to D, what you have is the C, which is choices. Whatever choice you make, difficulties will come. If you pass through it, then you get a lifeline how to handle such problems. That is called as experience. If you face a certain problem, you know how to solve it. So now you will guide other people how to get away with this problem. You come to second one. Now this lifeline will help you because you set up an expectation that it's not going to be easy. So I have to be very careful with what is the next step which is coming up, and you are prepared with that. And you move forward. But in the between, you decided, hey, this is too much. I don't want to handle all this stuff. I just want to escape. Coming back to that video and the beginning aspect of it. You didn't finish. I'm sorry, sirs and madam. You will have to start all over again. This is the exact life. When we leave our body, if we did not perfect our life, this death is not the completion. It actually starts again with the birth, again death, birth, again death, birth, again birth, again death. We are just in cycles. And what is that person who has went through it? Based on that experience he guides, that's the guru who knows the brutal reality of this material world, who knows, who dissected every formula. He knows, he has that wisdom. We spoke about that. He guides you how to cross over that. And this is that person, Dhira. And this is the person who has used his intelligence to cross over the dense forest of delusion. And that person has an ability to guide others also to cross over. We all are on the same page? Okay, beautiful. Can we read the purport?
There are many good examples in the lives of great devotees of the Lord, of those who became indifferent to the rituals of Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. When a person factually understands Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the rituals of fruitive activities, even though an experienced Brahmana Sri Madhavendra Puri, a great devotee and Acharya in the line of the devotee says,
You can directly go to the purport. Yeah, oh my
yeah,
prayers.
"O my prayers 3 times a day, all glory to you. O greeting, I offer my obeisances
Senses,
unto you. O
demigods, which is Devtas.
O forefathers, please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, wherever I sit, I can remember the great descents of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, and thereby I can free myself from all sinful bondage. This is the sufficient for me. The Vedic rites and rituals are imperative for neophytes, comprehending all kinds of prayer 3 times a day, taking a bath early in the morning, offering respect to the forefathers, etc. But when one is fully in Krishna consciousness and is engaged in his transcendental loving services, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he has already attained perfection. If one can reach the platform of understanding by service to the Supreme Lord Krishna, he is no longer to execute different types of penances and sacrifices as recommended in revealed scriptures. And similarly, if one has not understood that The purpose of the Veda is to reach Krishna and simply engages in the rituals, etc. Then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagements. Persons in Krishna consciousness transcend the limit of
Shabda Brahma.
Sapta Brahma or the range of the Vedas and Upanishads.
Prabhupada beautifully mentions about what is the difference between being ritual versus spiritual. We discussed about that briefly in the previous meeting, which is basically talking about understanding the why behind what we do. Because parents taught me to come in front of God, fold my hands there, see the deity form of the Lord, ask couple of questions or do some business transaction. I want this, I want this, I want this. That's it, done and get out. That is ritual. Spiritual means, why am I doing what am I doing? Do I have to ask this Christian missionaries? What they would do is, Christianity is spreading so fast, no complaints or no criticism there. But what they will do, on top of it, maybe let me go even atheism, let me go to that level. What these guys will come, these political parties, they will come in, they will say to the villages who do not have even food to eat, they would ask them, is God there? Yes. So why are you hungry? You need a bread? We will give you the God. We will give you the bread and we will become God. And what people, these poor people, very simple villagers, they would think, they are giving bread, which means they are our God. And that is how atheism spread. And similar way, the Christianity about, oh, you know what, the God provides the bread. See, you didn't provide whatever religion you're practicing, you get it. Like one time, there was this guy, there was one person who went to a cliff and he fell down the cliff. And he was falling down with a very high speed and he somehow held a branch. And then he called out, oh God, if you are there, please help me. And he heard a voice. God responded, just leave your hand from there. And then what is this guy said? Is there anyone else who can help me? You understand the difference? When God gives you a solution, I don't want to accept it. Another one on a similar plane. This was brutal winter. So one guy didn't the rock climbing. He almost reached to the top, fell down. He fell down and he was holding a branch, somehow hanging, thinking that what is going to happen. And he started thinking, if God is there, he should come and help me. He heard a voice from within, leave your hand from the branch. He didn't leave. He said, how can I leave like that? It was brutal winter. Next day, he was found dead, freezed in that tree, which was just 10 feet above the ground.
That's very close.
You understood the point, right? God said, leave your hand. I don't want to leave. How about what is down? This is the exact situation of all of us. This is what requires a surrender. That I will follow what is the will of God rather than my will. Because my will is very limited. I have a limited perception. He couldn't see what is down, how far, because whatever, it was night or whatever. But God told him, just leave the branch. He could have reached to the earth, the floor, and then figured out where to go, but he died. Another one, real story. So, in Germany, there used to be in Hindi we call it malgadi. What is that? Do you know the English term for that one? The train which has all the goods in that one.
Yeah, good straight.
Goods train. Okay, yeah, let's put. Thank you. It's such a simple one terminology. So Germany also is cold. So what they would do is, for vegetables to keep fresh, they will have a very cold temperature within that cabin, and someone has to set up the temperature. And to keep it cool, the door cannot be open for a long time, so the door will automatically close. So the rule was that anybody who knocks, close the door from outside, he has to knock if anybody is inside. Because you can't hear, that's kind of a vacuum. If you go in the cold stress, it's kind of a vacuum, you can't hear much. So there is this person who went inside to set up a temperature. Someone knocked the door, but he couldn't hear anything. He locked the door from outside. So the person who was inside kept knocking the kept knocking the door. Anyway, nobody opened because nobody can hear. Next day, he was found dead in that cabin. Now here is that bogie of the train. There was an electrical failure, which means when he entered, there was no freezing temperature, but he still died. Why? I have a question for you.
I think his mind was playing
Yes, thank
playing
you.
at its
Whose problem is that? It's my problem. Because my mind killed me thinking that I will not survive. This is very cold. This is freezing, which means I'm going to just die in few seconds. Because this guy know if I stay here for more than 5 minutes, I'm going to die. Though the temperature was not working, it has an electric shutdown. Just with that thought, he not just because he was put into that because of the cold weather. This is where we need Bhagavad Gita. We think when our problems come in front of us, I don't know how many I personally face, so I'm fortunate, I'll put it that way. These are such intense movement, you don't know where is the end. It's exactly like when a train goes through a tunnel. It's pitch dark until you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, I'm getting out of this tunnel. The life is exactly like that. We go through various caves, various tunnels through which we cannot see anything. And Bhagavad Gita is that intelligence, that light which removes that delusion which we've been talking about. Sorry, I'm just going little detail. Hope that's okay. Can we move to the next verse? 2.53. Any comments online?
No problem. Okay.
No comments. No comments.
Okay, beautiful. We are reading text 53. Shruti vipratipanite tripannate. Sorry. यदा स्थास्यति निश्चला समादावाचला बुद्धिस् तदा योगम अवाप्स्यसि. Translation, please. Go ahead.
When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness.
Thank you, Madhuji. Very interestingly, it says when your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of Vedas. But we said Bhagavad Gita is also one of the Vedas, we said, right? It's called one of the Purana, right? Bhagavad Purana. There are, go ahead.
I mean, there are four Vedas.
Correct. Thank you. Yes.
The Vedas are supposed to have been the oldest written, and later came the Purana.
Timing part, I will clarify. I don't have the exact answer right now, but you are close. When you say four Vedas, Atharveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Yajurveda, thank you. These four Vedas deal with rituals.
I mean, not necessarily everything,
Hmm.
but some of them deal with all the. It's more like a scientific books, if you ask me. You know, some of them are like your fitness. Some of them are related to medicinal benefits. Some of them is understanding your biology, your
Yes.
outer world, and everything.
Yes, absolutely. But that pertains to how to peacefully live in this material world. If you follow Vedas, you will have lesser problems in your life. For an example, a person who has a health problem, I briefly spoke about that. A person who has a health problem, they are requested to worship Surya Dev, sun god. Why? Because sun god takes care of our digestion. Sun is a fire, our digestion is a fire, Agni, which is taken care by this. Same way, when someone is not getting married, they are asked to worship certain devatas. Or when someone wants a child who are not begetting a child, they are requested to worship a certain demigod. So Vedas deal with how to somehow align with nature and live peacefully in this material world. Go ahead.
I mean, I sort of disagree because Vedas,
Please.
yeah, to some extent they
Hmm.
do say that, but there is a reason why. So the
Yes.
thing is, we need to be cool. You can't blindly follow that.
Yes.
Like, you got to get up and offer water to sun.
Hmm.
Why do they say that? That
Huh.
means you got to get up in early in the morning. So you
Yes.
get into that regime, that schedule.
Yes.
If you just say somebody, just get up and do it, nobody's going to do it.
Very
But if
nice.
you give some food, like not everybody is that intelligent to kind of understand, right?
Very nice.
So
Yes.
regular Janata people, you need to give them something to go with it.
Very good. Thank you. And keep disagreeing whenever I say something. The point here, which you brought in very beautifully, it's for less intelligent people to come to that platform where they rely on nature, where they rely on some higher power than you thinking I am the doer, which is better than atheism. However, the lifespan is really short. If I know how to align my life with the world around me, will not take me out of cycle of birth and death. And why I need to get the cycle of birth and death, that has to be crystal clear. A person has to be, there are three classes of learning, and I spoke about it. First, person who hears, who understand what will happen. For an example, I should not touch the fire, otherwise my hand will be burned. Second class of learning, heard, but I want to experience it. And the third class, I heard and I experienced it, and I want to do it again. So Vedas want to teach you, you try to get first or second, not to the third one. But they did not give you a reason, or they did not give a way to get out of cycle of birth and death. Now you would say, how did I come to that conclusion? There has to be a proof for that. So who wrote Vedas? Vyasdev. Yes, agree, Vyasdev? Or there is doubt on that?
No, I think that's what again Vyasdev also is like the parampara, it comes. That's what they
Correct, but
talk about.
Vyasdev wrote that, right? So Vyasdev wrote all these four scriptures. Who's the spiritual master of Vyasdev? Narada Muni. Right? Where is that mentioned? Srimad Bhagavatam, which I mentioned last week. So Vyasdev, after writing all these scriptures, including Mahabharata and all these four Vedas, was not feeling contentment. I wrote so much for humankind. Generally, if you do something for the world, it gives you a happiness within. But he was like, why am I still feeling vacant in my heart? And Narada Muni appeared at that time, who's the spiritual master of Vyasdev. He said, you gave a license to enjoy this material world and rot in the cycle of birth and death. And that is why you're not feeling that contentment which you should feel. You did not sufficiently glorify the Supreme Lord Krishna in his pastimes. And you did not give the people a path to get directly to that abode. Because eventually, when you perform these acts, it will come to mode of goodness, and that will bring you to bhakti. But our lifespan is very short. So I will go on like that in many lifetimes, and finally I come to bhakti. That's why he propounded Srimad Bhagavatam, which is elaborately explaining how to do the deity worship, how to take care of devotional life, and how bhakti is the uttama. So far in Bhagavad Gita, we haven't reached to bhakti. What is Bhagavad Gita so far covering? Next chapter is Karma Yoga, then you will have Jnana Yoga, then you will have Ashtanga Yoga, and then Krishna focuses on Bhakti Yoga. So does it mean they are, oh, Krishna is giving either you take mathematics or biology or this? No. Krishna gives a hierarchy or a ladder, yoga ladder to cross over. And what is the top step on the ladder is Bhakti Yoga. So why do I go this path if I can directly achieve that through the Bhakti? Karma and jnana, they are not independent. If you want a mukti, I'm talking about simple mukti, you need the help of bhakti. You cannot get the liberation by doing a karma and jnana. You need the help of bhakti. But bhakti does not need the help of karma and jnana. Are you with me so far? Karma is doing every activity, offering to God and doing every activity. Jnana is acquiring the knowledge and trying to dissect how can I perceive God. Bhakti is an action. I understood. I want to get into action and I want to please the Lord. And that is what pleases God. And that's how you come to that stage. So coming back to these four Vedas, They are talking about the flowery language. This is flowery language, which means how to actually live a peaceful life here, which is what is Krishna telling. When your mind is no longer disturbed by flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, you are not caught up with, I wouldn't use the word mundane, but these Vedic way of doing rituals. You come to the platform of spiritual and get into application, and that is what will give you divine consciousness. Let's go ahead and read this purport.
To say that one is in samadhi is to say that one has fully realized Krishna consciousness. That is, one in full samadhi has realized Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. The highest perfection of self-realization is to understand that one is eternally the servitor of Krishna, and that one's only business is to discharge one's duty in Krishna consciousness. A Krishna conscious person or unflinching devotee of the Lord should not be disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, nor be engaged in fruitive activities for promotion to the heavenly kingdom. In Krishna consciousness, one comes directly into communion with Krishna, and thus all directions from Krishna may be understood in that transcendental state. One is sure to achieve results by such activities and attain conclusive knowledge. One has only to carry out the orders of Krishna or his representative, the spiritual master.
There is a very beautiful line which is mentioned here, that Vedas, this one, not disturbed by the flowery language of Vedas, nor be engaged in fruitive activities for promotion to heavenly kingdom, which is going to heavenly planet. So far, even before I came to ISKCON, my understanding was heaven is the highest destination. But that is not true. The heaven is a place which is in material world. We saw that picture, you remember, we talked about different planets, and we talked about heavenly planet, and then the topmost planet I talked about Brahmaloka, which is where the Gyanis go, and that's the maximum place, but that's all in the material world, which means when this material world is destroyed, all of these planets are destroyed and recreated when Brahmaji again does the creation. When Brahmaji dies, then everything is destroyed. I don't want to go into more technical, otherwise you'll be lost, just making sure everything is destroyed. But beyond that is Viraja river. Above the Viraja river are Venkata dams. They are not destroyed because they are on the spiritual plane, they are not on the material plane. So at most, with if you follow the rituals of the Vedas, you can reach up to the points of heavenly planet. You will have long life, definitely. You will not get sick, you will not have misery, but the time span is, again, there is an expiry date. It has a longer expiry date than the human which we are living in this world, which is a limited expiry date. Make sense? All good? Can you move to the next verse? All good. Okay, cool. Text 54. Arjuna Vacha. Now, this is a verse which is talking about, now, this is the series of verse which is going to talk about Dhira, which I spoke before. Sthita Pratnasya Ka Bhasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadi Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Vrajeti Kim. So, another definition of dhira is sthita pragnya. That is the technical term which is in Bhagavad Gita. And let's read the translation.
Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged into transcendence? How does he speak, and what is his language? How does he sit? How does he walk?"
When someone is successful, you want to find out the formula. How did you get there? Like I had one friend, he's still there. He got retired at the age of 35, worked there for 15 years, and he's still retired. And I'm like, one day, can you give me a formula? I don't want to work like this for rest of my life. Can you give me the formula? How did you do it? And this is what Krishna is talking about. Arjuna is asking here. Krishna so far talked about a person whose intelligence established can cross over the delusion. And then Krishna talked about a person who is not affected by the flowery language of Vedas. So now Arjuna is asking a question based on that. Can you give me the symptoms of that person who has actually attained that stage? And what are his symptoms? How do I recognize? Like, for an example, Externally, he may look or she may look like the same, but how do I identify such person? Let's go ahead and read the purport.
As there are symptoms for each and every man in terms of his particular situation, similarly, one who is Krishna conscious has his particular nature, talking, walking, thinking, feeling, etc. As a rich man has his symptoms by which he is known as a rich man, as a diseased man has his symptoms by which he is known as diseased, or as a learned man has his symptoms. So a man in transcendental consciousness of Krishna has specific symptoms in various degrees. One can know his specific symptoms from the Bhagavad Gita. Most important is how the man in Krishna consciousness speaks. For speech is the most important quality of any man. It is said that a fool is undiscovered as long as he does not speak. And certainly, a well dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks. But as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. The immediate symptom of a Krishna conscious man is that he speaks only of Krishna and of matters relating to him. Other symptoms then automatically follow as stated below.
Prabhupada was one time walking, and then his disciples were following along. And Prabhupada asked, can you differentiate what is the difference between that green grass and the brown grass? And the Prabhupada disciples would know there is some spiritual aspect which Prabhupada wants to bring, so they couldn't understand. So they were speaking on this material plane, whatever it is. Prabhupada said, and he covered that up. Why the grass is green? Because it's attached to the earth. Why the grass is brown? Because it is detached from the earth, which we all know. Similar way, when our root are always connected to Krishna, we are always nourished. When we are disconnected from Krishna, when we are disconnected from spirituality, we will become that brown grass. Another time, this is in California, the devotees along with Prabhupada were walking at the seashore, and there was a beautiful sunset going on. So devotees were watching this beautiful sunset. They said, Prabhupada, this is such a beautiful sunset. And I'm sure you would have experienced that as well. Prabhupada said, think if the art is so beautiful, how much artist who created this art will be beautiful. So he would connect everything to Krishna. Everything he would think about, it is always connected to Krishna. How can I see? We're just talking about this Wednesday actually. Wednesday is a day when Prabhupada came to America at the age of 70. Imagine, at the age of 70, with how much money? 40 rupees. At that time, $2. Not now, not even $1. Nobody he knew here. Any of us, no possessions. Any of us would ever think about coming to America who has never visited America? Will you dare to come at the age of 70? And that too, he came in cargo ship. It took him 28 days to come here. He came here with 40 rupees, no shelter, nothing. An old man. At our age himself, at itself, we cannot imagine we go to a place where we did not have a credit card, we don't have a money, we don't have a dollar, and we don't know anyone where we are going to. 70-year-old person. Within few years, he had more than 108 temples. How? A lot of times when I speak to certain people who has never spoken to Indian, they struggle with our pronunciation. However close we mimic, they struggle. What did you say? Like I remember I went for an interview, visitor visa at Vancouver. And I went for an interview. He asked me what industry you are in. And I told him mortgage. What? He couldn't understand because the T is silent. I never knew. So you're supposed to say mortgage, not mortgage. So I kept saying the same thing. He couldn't figure it out. I had to write him, oh, you are saying mortgage. Oh, I didn't know that it is supposed to be called as mortgage. Prabhupada came to America with a thick Bengali accent. And in 70s, this was in 1960, yeah, 19, around that period of time, 1960 sometimes, sorry, I'm poor with numbers. They hardly have ever seen Indian people here. They were transformed. They were coming. He was playing a kartal in Tompkins Square Park in New York. And they do the kirtan every day there today, even in winters. Just started playing kirtan. And the world, the whole Krishna consciousness movement was created from there. Why? Because when he came, he prayed, "My Lord, I am just like a puppet. Use me, make me dance the way you wanted." Puppet does not have its free will. Puppet relies on the puppeteer. The way puppeteer makes dance, the puppet dance. And Prabhupada said, "I'm just a puppet. Use me however you want." And if you read, you were mentioning about, I'm sorry, I forgot, you said that you want to watch Prabhupada's memories. So many problems he faced, so many, not in America, even in India. He came to America, why? Because the Indians were at that time also trying to copy Western culture. So he said, if I go to West, then people will copy this also. And first time when Prabhupada brought after few years white people to Vrindavan. Vrindavan at the time was literally a forest. And whoever was living sadhus there, they were surprised because they never saw white people ever in Indian country ever. And Prabhupada would call them white elephants, wearing dhoti, wearing tilak. Can you imagine a culture transformation for them? Wearing these rags, look weird. Women wearing saris, they would, at the time, there were no Indians there. So they would wear, and then people thinking, "What are you wearing? What are these, interesting robes? It's like shovel or a blanket you are wearing like that." Wearing, waking up every day morning, coming for Mangala Arati, chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, 16 rounds every day, leaving meat eating, leaving intoxication, leaving gambling, leaving illicit sex, which is impossible to think about from Western culture perspective. There has to be some substance in the person like Srila Prabhupada who transformed such people. And these people were hippies. I don't know if you see today, but hippies are the worst class of people. They would never trust anyone. And the government was struggling how to take care of these were pure drug addicts. I'm using a word, pure drug addict. They left everything. What to talk about drug, even leaving a tea and coffee. The whole America runs on coffee, whole runs on coffee. So many coffee brands, so many coffee companies left coffee. What a transformation. This is called as revolution. This is called as a person who has true connection with God. By coming in as that person, people get transformed. Sorry. They get, what is this person? Prabhupada was sitting in New York, one of the bench, and I want to end with that. One of the persons sat next to Prabhupada. And he saw his orange robe he never saw before. So he asked, "Where are you from?" So Prabhupada said, "I'm from India." "So what are you doing?" At that moment, nothing has started. Prabhupada did not have any follower. He did not have a disciple. He said, "I have a mission of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and I have thousands of followers." Now, if you will say, "Are you nuts? What are you talking about? You don't have money to buy your next food," which is, if you have to, in the evening, you don't have money to even eat evening food. You're talking about you have thousands of disciples, you have hundreds of temples. This is what Prabhupada said. And that person who was sitting next to him, he was interviewed later after Prabhupada departed. And he is the one who's sharing that. So he said, "I saw this Swamiji. I thought he's old. He doesn't know what is he saying." Because a lot of time when people become old, they don't know what they are saying. So when I see that, I'm surprised. He knew this is called as vision. A person who's the age of 70, it's beyond imagination, coming into the country of New York, America, coming to New York through Boston, did not know anybody. So many troubles. I will share you that today. I was just at a super. My spiritual master was here. I was telling last week. So we were really busy with those services, but I'll share that. With that, I want to enter. It's 4:57. I want to give some time for reflections. Any comments? Any reflections based on today's discussion? Where did I keep the
I
bottle?
think the takeaway is how do we apply this in our current situation is, as they say that this shall pass too.
Yeah, very beautiful. This shall pass too. Yeah.
So everything like, the ups and downs, if you are caught up with, if you are going through, if you are caught up with them, then you will go through the roller coaster. But if you think that, and that's what is it? What I forgot.
Dira.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
So
good.
basically,
Uh.
you have that rock in you where you say everything is going to pass over. So how do you stay that calm and composed?
And series of verses following that will elaborate on these symptoms. This was the question which Arjuna asked and Krishna is going to answer. So very beautiful. You want to add something, bro?
Not much, but we always put the band-aid as he was explaining, right? In one of the words, trying to sleep and trying to go to movie and trying to escape from the root cause.
Mm.
That's something we have to inspect ourselves. Are we doing in everyday life?
We do, bro. I was surprised when I heard that.
Try to get to root cause and do what is right.
When my wife left, it was a shock of my life. Did not know cooking, did not know many aspects of taking care of household things. Krishna, it's just beyond imagination. I was just telling my wife, telling my daughter, I'll comb your hair. One day she called me, can you do that? And I realized I did not know how to even put that the elastic band. Hare Krishna, I did not know how to make chapati. Hey, Dad, you're giving us rice every day. Can you make one day chapati? I'm like, man, that's so tough for me. I tried, and I failed, and I failed. I'm still failing. And I have so much to learn. I realize I want to escape. I want to be this video is my own life's reflection. That's why I just shared. Where do I escape here? Where do I escape? I cannot escape anywhere. I have to face this situation from a way where I can mold their life in a way so that they become successful spiritualists and understand this duality of life. Prabhu, when people are listening, it's very easy to speak. When you come into that situation, then that's where acha abhi aaya, in Hindi we call it abhi aaya oont pahad ke niche. What is the English meaning of that? You know how to pahad ke niche.
Yeah, the camel came down.
Yeah, the camel is really big. Yeah, I'm so tall in this, but when it comes under the mountain, oh really, your mountain is so big, very easy to speak. But when things come on our way, then the true water, you check the temperature where I am. So that's what I realized. I wanted to escape, but I realized I have no escape. And life puts you into certain spots. And I was just telling my friends, throughout my life, I've been an escapist. My boss doesn't treat me well, hell with you. I will go and find out another job. I switched so many jobs in my life. And every time I will double my salary. I was very egoistic and I'm still egoistic because I had control on my skills. I have skills. Who are you, man? I'll find out the job. And I literally did. If I got a job of 5 lakhs, I need 10 lakhs. And I quit and I joined 10 lakhs. And this is how I grew in my career. Reached to a good career where I would say, yeah, people treat me like, oh, you know something. When I say something, people follow because this guy has some strength he knows about. Escape throughout my life. Responsibility, no, I don't want to take responsibility. Now everything is on me. Where would I escape now? And I would tell my friends. Krishna came and told me, अच्छा sir, अभी escape करके दिखाओ. Sorry, I'm saying in Hindi. Now show me how you escape. Can't escape. So yeah, thank you for bringing. Sorry, I just wanted to share because this was something personal to me. Go ahead, Mataji.
Thinking like we always think the grass is always green on the other side,
Yes.
but we also have to look at our side how things are. Maybe we are also greener, but we always think the other person is much better than us.
Which is based on that king story where he put the exhibition problems of life. Beautiful. Online comments.
Prabhu,
Yeah, I
I
think.
also have one insight. Just like Prabhupada said, the other grasses are greener and other half of the grasses are brown. It can be also like, like sometimes in Hindi they said, um, you can die, but we are not realizing we are also going to die one day.
Yeah,
The
that is also
person
good.
that